This past weekend haikuwa like a good weekend hapa Kenya because tulienda tukipata like two tragic news stories. The number one of course was about Brian Chira. So Brian Chira inasemekana alipass, was it on Friday night? And then we had Rita Tinina who passed on Sunday night. So this is like the worst thing about life, the fact that unaweza pata like on Saturday Rita Tinina was just receiving the news about Brian Chira because we all knew Brian Chira, alafu by tukikuja on Sunday ye mwenyewe ana pass, alafu we end up getting the news, but the person kwa nataka kubonga juu yake saa hizi ni Brian Chira. Kustori ya Brian Chira imeleta like a lot of debate and imekuwa kwa headlines kabisa, and one of the things I'd talk about is mina akina Ian and Rapture. Of course we joked about him when he was alive because he was like this very interesting character, and sometimes more feel like the easiest way to remember someone is to celebrate their life. Like even if you made a joke about them, you can't stop making the joke because they're dead, as long as it was not a joke made in bad taste. So I'll be sharing a certain joke ile tulimake juu ya Brian Chira and then trying to break it down on what we meant. But before that, nilikuwa nataka kuaddress a few of the things that have come up. Of course, after Brian Chira lidedi, KRG alienda up offer to pay for the funeral cost, and this was controversial to some degree. I don't know why it was controversial. Maybe it's because ilikuwa KRG, but ukiangalia statement ya KRG ilikuwa very, I'd say respectful, because alisema, I know it's a hard time and people are going through a lot, and I know that his friends are really confused not knowing where to start from. Considering Brian Chira's orphan status, I want to help where I can. I want to arrange for the transfer of his body from City Mortuary to Montezuma. So I feel like this was a good thing. It might be controversial because he did it in public, but yes, Brian Chira alikuwa orphan. Yes, it's his grandmother who was like the only surviving parent. So of course they need the help. But sasa hata tukisahau story ya KRG, kuna kitu ile pia nani alisema, ile pia ilikuwa like both things can be true at the same time, because Brida LW pia end up amebonga juu story akasema life ukuwa crazy design, unaweza ondokea ukiwa juu ya boda, lakini send off inataka kutumia pesa ingetosha kukushukia ndaye hata 2 ama 3 nacheki. So basically anasema hivyo, like people are always more ready to donate for your funeral than for your life, than for your, like when you're alive, if you ask for help no one is there, but when you're dead everyone offers help, but you know the dead never know that you're helping. So it's the ones who are living that end up appreciating that help, because funerals are expensive, so I can never take anything away from that. But sasa before tubonge juu ya like ni go back kwa history ya Brian Chira, I remember like a joke we made about him, and we made this joke about his name and what his name means in Luo and what his name means in Kikuyu. And it's interesting that later this joke ended up coming to life, not in the way we'd have wanted the joke to come to life, but in, you know, like the joke ended up coming to life. And Kileneza sema ni rest in peace to Brian Chira. And one of those people I'd have wished to like even sit down and go through his life journey, because he had a really like tough childhood, and someone once joked about him on Twitter, na vile msali joke juu yake, sisi kama like the weekend update, because we like joking about stuff, we ended up joking about this. And the only thing I'd say is very sad about this is part of our joke ended up becoming reality. And so wacha tucheki joke yenyewe, let's go back.
Majuzi jo nimecheka jo, kuna raya elimuenjoy jo, na hivi tote tunasema ni allegedly. Kuna raya ilisema ati the devil took a multibet on Brian Chira. Sasa unajua ni kwa nini jo? Wajua kuna hii picha yake moja ugo round ile kama amevaa makeup. So allegedly according to hivyo raya zinasema yeye ni msewa jirani, as in he's gay. Vile nimesema ni allegedly, si ndio? Alafu pia apart from that inasemekana iko na HIV, si ndio?
Okay.
Alafu apart from that inasemekana yeye ni orphan.
Okay.
acheki alafu usisahau usisahau amefikishwa kotini na Aziad amekuwa insulted na raya mob kabisa unajua hivyo Aziad amekuwa insulted na raya mingi
Raya
kabisa
mob sana.
but ndio raya ya kwanza amepeleka kotini jo inasemekana jo the devil aliteka multibet
Walai.
yuko like hey, maisha yako itakuwa yeah you guy
Ni kweli ni kweli yaani shetani ameamua na hii raya
yeah
kabisa. Juu unajua maisha ya raya orphan inakwaga ngumu sana hiyo guy.
yeah
Juu unajua raya kadhaa nazijua kutoka Githare. Nilikuwa naziona time ya holiday ndio nilikuwa na notice hizo raya ziko lonely
yeah
because wanaweza observe wasi wako wengine wako Ocha, wale wako Nairobi wako na familia, so ni maisha ngumu you guy. So kama hizo ndio mashida zote yako nazo Aziad amwachie tu please,
alafu
mwachie tu.
it gets worse you guy cause kwa kijaka Chira inakuwaga ni kama curse ama bad omen unajua so Chira like kuna raya mingi sana ujakani zimekufa na ukimwi lakini kabla ukimwi ikuwe discover alisema ameuliwa na Chira ona vile jua inawaka lakini tumemfunika na blanketi na si malaria huyu unapata kuna vile kuna siku alienda akakalia kitanda ya nyanyaki kama yuko uchi hiyo ndio kitu imefanya amepata Chira so Chira waga like associated with like just bad luck bad alafu kwa Kisapere pia Chira
Chira ukiandika kuipronounce na Kisapere ni Sira. Sira ni kesi.
Okay. Na siko na kesi saizi uga the devil jo
huyu hata Aziad akimwacha jo bado katamnukia hata Aziad akimwacha katamnukia juu kama sasa wakijaka ni kasi wakisapere ni kesi hakuna ile poa.
So nacheki so tukijua kujia story of course this time you're still alive and now like in hindsight when I look at it there's one thing mupendaga kuongea juu yake. One thing I've come to learn about life is luck plays a role. Mu feel ni kama it's one of those most underrated things. Like if you ask a lot of successful people how they ended up reaching the levels that they reached, they'll always say they worked hard, but I always feel like luck plays a role. There are a lot of people who can do things better than others, but they are not as lucky. And if you are to ask me, I truly believe there are better footballers out there in the world that exist, better than Messi, better than Cristiano Ronaldo, but they were never lucky enough. Maybe they were not lucky enough to be born in the right country, because a country like Kenya, for example, we don't support sports to that level. Like ikikam to kitu kama football ama tukiangalia vitu kama like this fighting things like Anthony Joshua has Nigerian roots. He had to go to England ama familia yake iko England ya fight. You have mse kama Nganu Cameroon. Unacheki so even for you to fight at that elite level lazima ukue in a European ama an American country. So this is why I'm talking about luck. And now to go back to like Brian Chira, you can try and imagine this kid who ends up being an orphan. Apart from an orphan, he ends up with HIV. Apart from HIV, he ends up like battling alcoholism, because you can try and imagine maybe the life as an orphan, the way it messes up with your mind. So he ends up battling alcoholism, and this becomes like the struggle of his life, where you're trying to kufanya kila kitu vipoa, but you have this thing where alcoholism, it's something nishakwambia ilikuwa kwa familia yangu. So watu samaga it's a disease, it's not just something to say you'll wake up and you'll change this, cause so alikuwa na battle alcoholism. And you can try and imagine all this bad luck, and even by the time tuko na joke juu yake tukisema like this guy has bad luck, the devil took a multibet, kitu kama hiyo, no one thought that he'd die the death that he died, like kugongwa na lori. What are the odds of that, like being a famous person, being a popular person, and then being hit by a lorry? And apart from that, like all your bad luck being kitu like that's in the public domain. So and then now tukigo back to now his story yake, another sad thing that came up is someone went to view his body on Saturday and ended up taking a picture, and these are one of those things where we are like, are we serious? Like umechukua photo ya msee amededi just to prove you've seen and we've confirmed, umeconfirm, alafu ukaipost on, like this picture was there on was it on X, which is Twitter, and that was just sad to see. And then tukitoka hapo lazima pia tuangalie grandmother yake. So there's this grandmother who is going to see her grandkid, and this grandkid, I think he was also the breadwinner, if I'm not wrong, from the things zile nimesikia. And we are there with the camera. I know the effect, I don't know how to handle that, because I know people want news, people want to know what's happening, so that people who want to step up can step up and help out with the funeral and what. But sasa now the debate comes in, like how much are we supposed to put the camera in her face? Like is that a good thing, is that a bad thing? So I don't know, because I know that funerals are expensive, and I know that the word needs to be out there so that people can help out. But I've seen the videos of the grandma crying, and I don't know how I feel about that, because I understand the one side and nini, but kile some of course kwa boy ni rest in peace. Like that's like one of the worst ways to go. And you never know, like your last day. So that's another thing about life, like tunabonga juu ya luck, where you're supposed to, since you're just lucky to be here, because also being alive is, it's out of luck. You're supposed to live every day like it's your last, and just try to enjoy it to the maximum, and hope for the best, because you never know. Like unaweza kuwa umekaa chini hivi, ndege itoke juu kuangukie tu ukiwa kwa keja, unaweza kuwa una nini, like luck. I feel like that's one of the things where people underrate the element of luck. People say that hard work is enough, but sometimes hard work is not enough. Sometimes there's that element of luck, and sometimes some people are luckier than others. Yeah, like you can try and imagine the odds, like going back to your story, a multi-bet, like you can try and imagine the odds of you being born as an orphan, you ending up as HIV positive, you ending up battling alcoholism, and on top of that you end up getting hit by a car, a lorry that is, and then it's hit and run. We don't even know who hit you. And so saizi, as we remember Brian Chira, of course there's also another person who's hiding somewhere who actually hit him. And history of hit and run Kenya, it's a very controversial issue, because this is what happens when an accident happens in Kenya. The person in the car is normally assumed to be guilty, hata kama haja make mistake. So you as the person driving, you can be lynched, the car can be burnt, you can, unajua unaweza enda pia ukidedishwa. So this guy ended up escaping, but now conscience yake, cause will you hide forever, ama will you just wake up, maybe go to a police station, you explain why ulihepa, because kukaa hapo, it's easier said than done, that if I cause an accident I'm going to wait, because Kenyans will come there and Kenyans will be ready to lynch you, they'll be ready to beat you, they'll be ready to, so what are you supposed to do? Are you supposed to stay, or are you supposed to run away? Of course the ideal thing would be to stay, but what I can say is rest in peace to Brian Chira. We never, as IKONINI, we never got to meet you, but what I can say is, if there is life after death, you are living it, because people are talking about you. You've left a legacy. Go down as one of the best TikTokers to ever come out of the 254. You are an interesting character, and for us, like for people who joked about how much like bad luck you had, imekampia kutuonyesha like what's in a name, like your jina, like what are the odds of your name meaning bad luck in Luo, and meaning like a case in Kikuyu, and then your life just being full of drama and full of all these things. But yeah, so I felt like nilikuwa na need kubonga juu ya hiyo, na pia kwa sana shindwa jo mwafu uko solo aje leo. Leo pia there was some form of bad luck. Tulikuwa tumesikia fununu that content creators wanaweza kuwakishia State House. So of course we were ready kwenda State House, but then what happened, I think the list of people that went to State House was really small, so tukuwa lucky kwenda huko and but ilikuwa about the monetization of Facebook and we are looking forward to that. So kama unatufollow on Facebook, as soon as they monetize that tutakuwa tukiweka pia content on Facebook and we'll try and see how that goes. But yeah, all in all, rest in peace to Brian Chira.